Right, so I'm going to give this a try. I've just got my phone held by a mobile phone holder you get in a car, so apologies if it's obviously not going to be perfect. But I'm just about to airbrush. We'll get down the base colour on this guy. So I thought I may as well actually just quickly run through what I do, really. So I tend to leave my airbrush, here he is. You see, he's not perfectly clean, to be honest. You don't really need to. You can do a good scrub when you want. And I leave the rod out, okay? And then obviously that's the back end as well. Reason for that is that it can just stick in place. Even if it's just water or cleaning fluid, it can kind of, you don't get that smooth glide. So I tend to take it out. And then all I do is pop it straight back in. You give it a little twist at the end. Put the back on. There we go, that's cool. So I'm just gonna attach my compressor. So that's the little hose. Some of this is gonna be pretty fucking basic, but you know. So that literally just screws on there. I don't have the quick traps or anything, the quick release things, because that's all I have to do. It's not really a big deal. I'll turn my compressor on. And I've actually got, it does shake around, it jumps about. I've got mine just surrounded by cardboard boxes. So what you hear is kind of the noise you would expect. What I'm going to do, just to see how clear the airbrush is at the moment, I'm just going to put a bit of this stuff. I don't really use it for cleaning per se. This is like an original product I got. It's okay, but it's not great. But what I need to do before I do that is put a mask on. I've only got cheap ones at the moment. I need to get some more, but they'll do the job for now. I'm not doing an awful lot. It's actually the cleaning chemicals, which are the bits that are quite, you have to be careful with. So I'm just going to go quiet for a minute while I run this through. If this goes through quite happily, then I can airbrush straight off. Normally I'd spray this into that, but I want to see the results, so I'm just going to do it onto the board. So you can see, look. That's coming through straight away, so I'm going to have no issue with painting. So the way I start, and again this is what I've learned, is you've got your different products. So here's my thinner, and I've got this in a little dropper bottle, makes it an awful lot easier to use. Then you've got your Vallejo glaze medium, which is probably going to be over here. I was taking photos of it. Well, I had some, there it is, got it. It's up at the top. So there's my glaze medium. So these are the two things I always use when I airbrush. So I put this in first. The mix is going to be down to you and what you're kind of used to and how you paint. Right, so the airbrush is nice and clear. Here's your super lube. Now the lube's job is for that big pin in the middle to come back and forth. So you don't actually care, you just literally do a little drop. And then what I do is you can take the back off again, and you can put the needle down, and I'll just move it back and forth like that. So it just lubes it up good. And that's all you want. That's all the super lube's for. So quickly going back through, I've done a clean run through with cleaner, so I know the airbrush is good to airbrush with. It came through fine. Put the lube in, that's to help the pin, I don't know what they actually call it, go back and forth. Painting wise, first thing I do is this stuff, and the reason for that is it will create a seal between your paint and the airbrush, meaning it's going to be a lot easier to clean. And on this I'm doing quite a lot, so I'm going to do 2 little drops. Then I'm using Vallejo Game Air. It's not amazing stuff, it's okay. Different paints, it's almost like old school GW where some paints are just better than others. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've done 8 drops on that. I might need a little bit more. And then just 1 drop of glaze medium. Put that in there. I'm just going to do 2 because it's a partial drop. Got an old paintbrush. Give that a little mix. And you kind of make it's watery consistency. I don't know if you really see that in there, but you can see I don't really airbrush with much. It's quite liquid. And that's it. So straight away, There he is. I'm not going to show you me. I'm not going to show me airbrushing him all over because it's pointless. And then because it's just one flat colour, off I go. Now you'll notice initially that went on a bit strong, so I pulled the lever back too far, so you can see it start pulling. So it kind of does indicate sometimes that maybe you've got your colour a bit too thin, or it's a colour that you don't want to kind of put too much thinner in. See, it's not a great colour. You can see it's already starting to separate. So you kind of learn as you go, really, and because it goes on so thinly, it doesn't really matter. You know, you can go over the top. So I'll use the mix I've got in here for now, and then move on from there. That's it. That's my basics. Hope you enjoyed it, I guess.